Okay, so now take two.
Take two.
Podcast. Okay, let's run through it again.
Let's
Run through the script. It's
Are we-
May 31st.
May 31st.
Last day of May, 3:30 or 4 or something in
It's
the
probably-
afternoon, Sunday,
Yeah.
2020, the year of our Lord. That last 2.5 months, no school.
Are we
Pandemic.
cutting down our last 11 minutes
Yeah,
that
let's
were
just-
muted?
We should recap or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, so we were actually muted. We recorded for 11 minutes and then realized now we're trying to break it down.
Yeah,
again.
so last 2.5 months, it's been slow goings for us anyway. I've been watching some shows old shows like Adventure Time with my sister, playing some Modern Warfare with my sister, watching Better Call Saul, watching Breaking Bad, reconnecting with my old 5th grade step class that I haven't talked to in several years, and that's it.
That's it.
That's all.
Me, I don't. Again, it was just a blur.
Just a blur.
Time is now just gone.
Yeah,
you
time
know?
has no meaning anymore.
How's your sleep schedule?
Sleep schedule, I'm usually asleep by 6 a.m., sometimes later, and then I wake
goddamn.
up at 3 in the afternoon, sometimes 3:30. The latest I woke up so far was 4:15. I was like, what the hell happened? But
What the wow.
yeah, and today I got up earlier than normal. I got up at noon today, but I still fell asleep at like 6 because I wasn't tired.
Yeah, no, my sleep schedule's really messed up. It's crazy. I don't understand time anymore. It's
Yeah.
all relative.
I get a lot of sleep, but it's just like, we didn't really talk about how we genuinely like feel day by day, but it's just like sometimes I think about like, man, I'm doing nothing, and usually on average like every other day I write maybe like half a page in my book, and I also like edit a couple videos and stuff, but like aside from that, it's just I wake up at 3. My dad usually goes to bed at like 5 because of his job, except for 2 nights where he stays up, so I only see him for like 2 hours a day, and my mom goes to bed at like 8. And then my sister and I either play a game or watch Adventure Time, and then she goes to bed, and then there's like close to 6 hours of just where I'm alone, and I watch like an episode of Breaking Bad, and I'm just like, dang, this blows, bro. This is like.
But the question you gotta ask is, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, what else am I?
Are you gonna go riot in Seattle?
I mean, maybe, but we'll get to that later. But, it's just what else is there to do? It's just the way things are.
Just the way things be, bro.
Yeah, the way things be pretty wild these days.
I know. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. Time is so. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just there's no important required thing for you to do that you usually base your time off of, such as school.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's just going through the motions of,
like, you know, we complain about school fucking sucks, but now that's actually gone.
I mean, and it does, but it's like, I don't know which I prefer, this or school.
Things are better than nothing, you know.
In some ways I prefer school, but in some ways I prefer this.
It's fucking.
But yeah, if it was like this all the time at school, where the homework or the work wasn't like required to do. Like, you sit there and you learn things, but you don't have to, like, do any assignments, but you can if you want. I think I would like that a lot.
God, it's fucking mongrels just running our country right now. Like, Trump is really on some shit right now.
I mean, we're pretty sure he, like, pops Adderall all day, which is, like, is it meth or cocaine that's in that? Adderall.
I don't think that...
I think it's coke, right?
My girlfriend takes Adderall. I don't think she...
But there's, like, the same stuff that makes Adderall...
Oh, same effects?
Yeah, same, like... It's like mild dose. It's either Adderall or meth, but...
It's probably meth.
Probably meth.
But, like, what the fuck? No. Trump has been... I watched Jimmy Fallon? Was it Jimmy Fallon? Or
one of the Jimmys. Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel. It was Jimmy Kimmel made a video on what's going on, like, right now in Minneapolis and all that fun shit. Then that's why I learned about apparently Trump tweeted when the looting starts, the shooting starts.
Oh yeah.
That okay. See,
should we dive in then?
Let's dive in.
It's only been 8 minutes, but let's.
Dude, it's a big subject.
It is a huge subject.
Okay, let me just say,
much.
If you support Trump, you know what? Whatever. I'm not gonna fucking hate you. I'm not gonna instantly assume that you're a racist or anything, or that you're a terrible person. You can do whatever. You know, if you say to my face, I support Trump, I'm not gonna fucking blow up. You're your own person. But after he said that, and you still support him, there has to be something wrong with you.
or you're just completely ignorant.
Yeah. Or you just like actually legitimately don't know what he's like doing.
Yeah, like and you don't like. Yeah, or you've been so like just brainwashed and turned off by like. Fox
if you support,
News
like at
stuff.
first I was like, if you support Trump, whatever. Yeah, I don't give a shit. But now if you still support him, like, what are you doing?
It's like so blatant now. But okay, let's break it down. Day by day. This
break it down.
1 week ago today, none of this was happening.
No.
It started on Monday night with the killing of George Floyd. I'm sure you saw the video.
Yeah, it was fucking. Oh my god.
Terrible situation. I'm sure everybody's seen the video, but terrible situation. Terrible. Shouldn't have happened. Bad cops. Bad stuff. But
bad people.
Basically, it turned out to be. You know what happened after is the big story. You know, it's it was the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of people. And on Tuesday, protests started. They marched from the Cup Foods restaurant where he died. To the precinct or whatever where the cops worked, a bunch of people, and the mayor Jacob Frey said like, at first the cops were put on paid administrative leave, but then like a day later they were all fired, but it took until like 2 days after that for the guy who killed George Floyd to be arrested. It took like 4 days or something,
and then he was like officially charged with third-degree murder. Yeah,
third degree, which was even that was questionable because like third degree means like
what's the difference first, second, and third? I don't know.
So like third degree is like because and there's also manslaughter, which is like accidental killing or whatever. But
oh really?
Yeah, third degree murder is like killing, but with the intent of like harming, but not necessarily killing them. Like you meant to harm them, but not to kill them, but they ended up dying anyway. And then like second degree is like
purposefully.
It's like it's more purposeful, and then like first degree is like premeditated, I think, and it's harder to prove. Like I think it's harder to prove. Second degree and third degree are kind of close in similarity, but it's harder to prove second degree because there's like intent. It's like a situation that you're thrust into, and then you mean to kill someone, so it's not like thought out beforehand, like a serial killer or something.
Oh, it's just like on the spot.
It's just like on the spot, but you like mean to kill him on the spot, I think.
Like you're being mugged and you want to kill him.
And that's harder to prove. Like that's harder to prove because it's like situational. It wasn't premeditated, and how do you know that he was trying to kill someone? Like, but I mean, if you look at the video, it's 8 minutes of the guy like crying and saying I can't breathe, and the guy just presses his knee down on his neck, and people nearby tell him to stop. I mean, there's something seriously wrong with that guy, but anyway, protests started. Nothing really happened with the cops for a couple of days. Wednesday was when the chaos really began, because that's when the first one I saw, of course, was the videos of Target being looted.
Target, all the small businesses being
also
fucked.
AutoZone, windows breaking in all sorts of businesses and stuff. AutoZone's burning. And
did you see the video of like CNN being totally fucking
that was on Friday. Now that
was crazy too.
I mean, I definitely have opinions on all of it, but yeah, that happened. And then Thursday was when the precinct burned to the ground, and then Thursday night was when Trump tweeted out the I will be sending in the National Guard. These thugs are blah blah blah.
These thugs in all caps.
Yeah, and when the looting starts, the shooting starts, which I found out is actually a quote from 1967 from like a pro-segregationist, like racist.
Wow,
that's really, like a direct quote from him.
That is epic.
I'm sure what happened is Trump heard somebody else say it and was like,
and thought that was epic. It's a rhyme.
And what he's saying is. What he's saying, and the looting had already started by this point, so he's basically giving them permission to just shoot people. And what he's saying is, looting is punishable by death without trial, which is like as unconstitutional as it gets. But that's wild. And then, of course, what happened yesterday? Was there anything crazy that happened yesterday? I mean, yesterday just was when there was just constant like
Seattle started rioting.
But
where else? Everyone else.
Everywhere. I saw a map of like all the cities. It's like. It's wide. It's countrywide. There's only like maybe 15 states that don't have any protests. Right?
And that's like all in the central because no one fucking lives there. It's just a bunch of corn.
Yeah,
corn can't protest. Stupid. No, but seriously, like this shit's going down.
Yeah, and it's just been constant videos of
like police violence
and police starting shit that they
like.
Just like
my friend actually went to. I have a friend. She posted it on her story. She went to the protest in Seattle, and they were just had their signs, they were chanting, all that shit. Next thing you know, tear gas.
Mm-hmm.
Being shot into the fucking crowd. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, first one I saw was on... The first one it was really questionable was on Wednesday, where it was just a cop car driving by, bystanders just pepper spraying them out the window.
Yeah.
And, but since then you've had just... It's just
standing
nonstop videos.
Standing on buildings and just shooting them with rubber bullets.
Yeah, so many rubber bullets. There was... The craziest one so far was when it was just like a family standing outside their house. This was yesterday. And like recording these cops marching down the road, and then the cops start yelling at them, "Get inside" or whatever, and they're just standing outside their home on the porch, and they say, "Get inside," and then one cop says, "Light them up," and then they start firing rubber bullets at them, just standing outside their house. That's literally
okay. Yeah,
it's like
crazy.
Straight out of like a crazy movie or something. But yeah,
wow.
Cops shoving people to the ground, tear gassing the little girl who got maced or whatever in the eyes. That was in Seattle. There's a video of it too. Basically, a cop walks right up to this 9-year-old girl and just does this in her eyes, like this close, and it's horrible. It's just horrific. But you have that going on, and you have cops flashing the white power sign, which is like the W or whatever. And
I thought that stands for winner.
Yeah, come on, get some dubs, bro. Get some dubs.
Massive Vicroys.
But you got...
Oh my god.
And you have cops going undercover too as protesters. Did you see that?
No.
There was and it's not officially confirmed, but it's like all evidence points in that direction that at least one instance, I think it was Thursday right before the precinct burned down. It was right outside that precinct. Some guy, it was clear skies. He was holding an umbrella though, and he was wearing all black and had like a pretty hardcore, like well-made gas mask on that usually police use. And he walked and he just started breaking windows in this AutoZone or whatever that was right next to it. And just, it was all peaceful up until then. There was no chaos or destruction yet. Just a lot of people, and he just started breaking windows, and people were like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing?" And then he immediately just walked away, and then some people followed him, but he just walked off. And then there was a brief like close up where you could see like his eyes, and it really matched like one of the police officers who works at that precinct. And then somebody contacted that person's like ex-wife and said, "Hell yeah, that's him. He'd be crazy enough to do something like that too," or whatever. But
so they like went in there to start the riot, like help start it, the riot,
and to give the police,
and just in case they were tear gassed, they have the mask on.
Yeah, and to give police and to also hide their identity. But,
oh well, yeah, that too.
But so that way it justifies the police, like, "Hey, they broke windows, bro." But and then there was another one that was just like that, where like a guy got out of a black vehicle and was like, it was the same thing, wearing all black, just by himself, walking towards the protest, and he was like, "Yeah, I work for CNN," or whatever. And then the guy recording walks up to the car and is like, "Hey, your buddy just said you work for CNN," and they're just like, "Hey, go away, bro, get out of here." Like, it's like pretty obvious.
It's fucking crazy, fucking stupid. Wow.
So yeah, my opinion on the whole situation is
everyone just needs to vibe, bro.
I mean, that would be nice. And like there's the idea that we're at a point where the country is either going to go in two directions.
Yeah.
And from those two directions, they branch off in two more directions, and it's either reformation or revolution. And reformation is, of course, like,
with Trump as president, there's no reformation.
Yeah, well, there's no real reformation, and but from reformation, it can either go off into right-wing reformation, which is not good, or left-wing reformation, which is good. And we want the reformation is just like electing people and getting people in power who are actually fighting for the people and fighting for the right things and pushing the country forward. And of course, right-wing is like people like Trump who say, "I don't listen to the corporations. I'm going to do what the people tell me to do." And of course, he doesn't actually do that, and just is not good. And then there's the route of revolution, which is, and some people think that is going to happen either way, but obviously I would prefer reformation. But the revolution route, it could either be, what's happening right now is pretty like progressive, and it's like, Black Lives Matter, like it's a good movement, but it could just as easily have been like what happened at Charlottesville a couple of years ago, which was the big Nazis. The Nazis showed up, and it could just as easily be a right-wing revolution as well, which would be pretty awful. But so like I think the protesters are 100% justified. I fully support the protesters. I think that, I mean, when I look at like Target getting looted or a precinct burning down, I feel no remorse because it's like Target's a huge corporation.
No,
they're gonna be
fucking
fine.
Chilling.
Oh
no, they lost one target out of the 10.5 billion around the fucking world. Oh,
and like the precinct that was justified too. I mean that was yeah. But like, and of course, I feel bad for like small business owners who get screwed over. I think that's bad. I think that's not good. And I haven't heard a single instance of a protester being the one to like kill somebody or anything like that. Maybe that has happened, but I haven't heard it. I've heard of pawn shop owners, or there was like a pawn shop owner who shot a guy.
Yeah.
And there was obviously some other stuff. People have gone blind. Oh, one of the craziest parts is that so many like journalists are getting shot at by police.
Yeah, they're getting arrested.
There was a CNN guy got arrested.
Exactly, the whole crew.
There was a journalist who got shot in the eye and is now blind permanently in that eye. There was I think there was another similar case like that too. And what that is they're like they want to get. I mean, and freedom of the press is like basic constitutional stuff, but what they want to do is they want to get the people documenting it out of there so they can
do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really disturbing.
Yeah, they're low key, not even low key. They're just like trying to shut down the press.
No, and never did I. Yeah, exactly. Never did I think that something this crazy was going to happen this soon. But that's 2024. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
there's a plague going around now. I bet it's gonna be anarchy in a couple months. You know, no cap.
I mean.
Then aliens. Everyone's joking about aliens.
I wouldn't be surprised about aliens.
Like no one's gonna be like, oh my god, aliens. They're gonna be like, oh shit, finally. You know.
Seriously, like no, yeah, aliens are gonna be like just the cherry on top.
You know, it's just gonna be like, oh, so this is at least we're at the end now, guys. Am I right?
Seriously, but
like this is our generation. Like, dude, we're just like
we just so happen to be born in
we're in the prime. We're 18 to 21. Yeah,
right when it's all kicking off.
Yeah. We still have the rest of our lives. You know.
You'd hope.
And
I also heard. I was listening to a podcast that was talking about AI, and I didn't know this, but apparently there's like they've mapped out like the date when we hit the point of no return, basically, where like AI will have no control over it. And apparently that's like 2045. That's like the singularity they call it.
So I'm still gonna be alive. God damn it.
Yeah. So that's when AI will really start becoming a problem.
They'll start making their own.
So yeah, they'll start saying these people are crazy. We should just get rid of them.
Yeah, they go against the algorithm that fucking person made a million years ago. Yeah, like
Voltron, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Let's be honest. The population, like the normal average citizens, the citizens of America are low key their own army.
Seriously. Okay.
They have guns. They have guns.
They do.
They have guns.
And a lot of it's a common misconception that like
only
leftists hate
people,
guns or whatever, but actual like far leftists are like super pro gun because it's like freedom, baby.
Yeah. I mean,
they just don't like replace their dicks with guns, you know.
Yeah, you know, they don't they don't drive a gun car.
Yeah,
you know,
gun theme.
But like, if in all honesty, if they start shooting and killing American citizens, we have guns. Like, you know, we're our own army, low key.
And I've heard some of the police people say like we're kind of scared here because we're outnumbered 4-1.
Exactly.
And somebody said, yeah, George Floyd was also outnumbered 4-1, baby. So gear up, baby.
God damn.
And it was really crazy to see all the people outside the White House, like right outside the White House.
I thought that was fake.
No, it was legit.
I thought that was fake. I was like, I heard the Secret Service is backing up the police.
Straight.
I was like, nah, you're fucking with me.
Yeah, that's true.
They were spray painting the White House, the pillars.
I don't know. Oh, the pillars. Yeah, probably like away from the actual building. Yeah, they were. I think they actually breached. I think it said they breached the front gates and then they were stopped right after.
Yeah, I took a picture in front of the not for like direct, but like in front of that place where you can take like in front of the White House.
Yeah.
It's like a giant ass black metal fence.
Mm-hmm. I think they breached that and then they got stopped after.
It's probably like a solid maybe 150 to 200 meters.
Yeah.
Before you get to the actual White House. Yeah. It's a fucking damn.
Yeah, let's say craziest case scenario, they breached the actual White House, dragged Trump out in the street, get the guillotine, you know, like French Revolution style.
Live stream it on Twitch.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, I'm all on board with, because, like, it's, it's been a long time coming, which is hard for some people to realize because they've done such a good job at making people just tune out of it. Yeah. One thing they've done such a good job on is making people think that people have no actual power over the way things go or who's in charge, and that's just not true. The reason Joe Biden is the nominee is because people think that, and it's because old people remember a time where hell yeah, our voices matter. We got Ronald Reagan in the White House and shit, and we did Vietnam, baby. Even though that didn't work.
We did Vietnam, baby.
So they still vote, and they're still super patriotic about voting. But us young people have been like,
our voices just like I don't see a difference.
Politics is boring. Don't even get into it because it doesn't matter, and it's all out of your control. And it's like if enough young people got into it, then that wouldn't be the case.
But yeah, so that's why it's all the way up. Like that's why I went to this far.
Didn't you say a couple months ago you were like really looking into like Malcolm X and MLK and stuff? Or like you were learning about it in class?
Oh yeah, in one of my classes. Which one was it? Yeah, I was.
Yeah, there's a lot of great quotes by him and MLK that are like, a riot is the voice of the unheard, and like,
yeah.
There's a good analogy I heard of if you're a mother and you're dating like an abusive boyfriend who's beating your 13-year-old kid like every day and slapping him around, when the kid finally stands up and punches the boyfriend in the face, you shouldn't go over to the kid and be like, now what you're doing is not productive and you need to settle down because this isn't going to get you anywhere and this is bad for everybody. No, what you do, I mean, it's justified that the kid hit back at the boyfriend, and that's what's happening now is that,
they've been shitting on us and then right when we shit back.
And on the whole, I mean, the whole inequality with black people, this is a legitimate thing. It's like, what I always remember is white people and black people use marijuana at the same rate, and black people are 4 times as likely to be arrested for marijuana possession. Obviously, the solution to that isn't, well, we should arrest just as many white people. It's legalized marijuana, but so nobody gets arrested for that.
That's what people have been doing.
That's just one example of, and there's so many cases of police brutality against people. It's at a certain point you just gotta.
It's like the mindset is like I don't know. It's like what you said. Like it's not. Since black people are getting arrested more for like the marijuana thing than white people, it's not bring the higher people to the lower status. It's bring the lower people to the higher status. Because that's what people have been doing. It's like you're treating them like shit, so we'll treat you like shit. Well, why don't you stop treating them like shit and bring them up to the status that you are at?
That was another Malcolm X quote. He said, "When a dagger's been plunged into somebody's back, progress isn't just pulling the knife out a little bit. The progress is taking the knife out and like starting to heal the wound. That's what needs to happen, and it's for realsies, bro. But beyond just like and other things like the black centric communities having like poor education and poor funding and there's so many like different things that I know barely anything about, but beyond that there is like it's a class divide too. More black people are in the lower class than white people are, and then there's just the class difference in general. I read a thing that Jeff Bezos, if trajectories continue, will be the first trillionaire by 2026. The world's first trillionaire.
Yeah, like that's insane. What's your did you hear that thing about like people like shitting on Jeff Bezos for donating or whatever?
So yeah, and not just that, since the pandemic started, I think the cumulative of like the richest people in the world, the amount of money they've made altogether it's like $434 billion is how much money they've made off of this pandemic. Because like the amount of money he donated, it was like $700,000. Now obviously $700,000 is a lot of money, and it's obviously gonna go. It's gonna help, but at the same time, I think I read that like he makes that amount of money in like 10 minutes or something. Like that's how quick he's making money, and that's how. So it was like, I think it was 3 minutes actually. So like that was basically 3 minutes of his time.
And just like it's a very touchy like yes he donated 700. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
700,000. But at the same time, that's like not shit. Like it's hard to like thank you, but. Like it's strange.
And also it comes back to what's better, like charity or actually like fixing it so charity isn't even needed in the first place, like wealth redistribution, put some taxes on these people.
But like also, I mean yes, but like also you can't he made himself. He made himself.
See, that's the counter argument I hear, and like, yeah,
and he does what the fuck he wants, but like,
at the same time, like, he has people who work for him. He has people who've bolstered the business up to what it is. You know, he uses the resources that's been given to him by society, and
he made it fair and square. He didn't like, yeah, you know.
He didn't make it from the ground, he didn't make it from ground zero though. He had no. Yeah, I mean, and I just think on like a philosophical level, I don't think anybody should have that
much money,
and when other people especially are getting screwed.
You know, like it's very like who are like, you know, it's very strange, you know, like because you'll be like, he shouldn't have that much money, and like, but who are you to limit his success? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, you like with that much success, you should be helping other people. Like it's very like, it's not even like law, it's just like morals. And
yeah, like, it's not that like I want to limit like their success or whatever. It's more that I want to make sure everybody is like above a certain level, and then you can make as much money as you want. There should be a threshold that isn't just like rock bottom. It's just zero, especially in America, which is supposedly
like in any place actually, but like
any place, but yeah.
Like, there's people in America that have rock bottom, but like maybe people somewhere else in a third world country, holy shit, that must be like
for sure
paradise. You know what I'm saying? It's relative. Like it's very strange. I watched you know Mark Rober, the YouTuber?
I'm not sure.
So Mark Rober is the guy that like, oh, we broke the world record for elephant toothpaste. He put a bunch of elephant toothpaste in
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking.
So he was like an original. He was originally a NASA engineer. Super smart, obviously. Quit his job, did YouTube. But I'm trying to remember the quote. But he went to Bill Gates and asked him, so why the hell should we care about like poor countries, and like, you know, why the hell should we develop them if like places like America, like, you know, the UK, another place that is just already developed, we don't need to give a shit about them, we're fine. And then like Bill Gates gave like the fattest like obvious answer. He was like, well, because fucking morals.
Yeah.
And like they'll help us too. If we help them, they'll help us. But like, you know, when it comes down to the individual, like Jeff Bezos, given 700,000, yeah, thank you. But like, you have $1 trillion. When you said he was the first, you might have been the first trillionaire.
Maybe, probably, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it's like they've made $434 billion while unemployment is at 40%, which is way higher than it was in the Great Depression.
He could probably just buy a country. What even costs like $1 trillion?
Nothing costs. That's another thing though. Once you have that much money, you basically have unlimited power. You can influence whatever election you want to influence. You're in with the top of the top 1% of the top 1%. You're in with all of that. If you're him, you basically could control it. I don't know how into that he may be, because I don't really know. I mean, I know Amazon doesn't have the greatest working conditions, and like people have gotten screwed over with their payment and all that, which I think is screwed up, especially for a guy so rich. But yeah, who knows? I mean, and that comes back to like the basic question of like the longevity and morality of capitalism in general. Now, this is will sound like some far left crazy commie talk, baby, but it's really not. It's like every development in history has led to like the next development and the next stage, and the Roman Empire led to eventually the Enlightenment, which was like a huge deal in the Renaissance and all that. And like what the mindset is like, okay, we rebelled against monarchy and the British Parliament and all that, and we established our own country, which we founded on capitalism, and we're done. And this is the system. This is the peak. This is what we're going to stick on.
Doesn't get better than this.
But when you look into it, it's like there is so much disparity and inequality, and that's systemic. And I think eventually, like, long-term goal should be to move beyond that and move to like where, like, you know, if you've seen like Star Trek, like the Star Trek future is like there's no borders, there's no real money, there's no real like, and that's like long term, and it's hard to kind of imagine nowadays, but it's like, and I don't think that's ever going to happen in like our lifetimes or even the next lifetime or whatever. And as long as the world doesn't blow up before then, I feel like 300, 400, 500 years from now, if we're going to continue to advance, the way we want to, that's the path we should go down. And I think, capitalism is a necessary, especially because it made so much innovation. It was the Industrial Revolution.
Capitalism is a step. It's not it's a step.
It's a big step, but it's a
it's
step.
not permanent.
Yeah, I don't think it should be, but so many people just don't even think about that. So many people just look at the way it is and be like, yeah, that's the way it is, and don't really think about what could be after. But.
I'm pretty sure fucking Jeff Bezos could just donate money to, just rebuild Minneapolis.
He could.
He could just walk it off.
Yeah, he could.
He could just he could rename Minneapolis to Amazon City or whatever, or Jeff Bezos land. I wouldn't be opposed to that if he fixed it. He probably could do that.
Yeah.
Fucking mongrel. This is when we should actually be in school because we can all
Just for that though.
Just for that. We're gonna have a quick meeting about
French.
Just everything else. Yeah, fuck French, fuck Spanish, fuck video production. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
We need to talk about what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I don't care how the fuck Greece made their pillars. I want to know what
and
the fuck is going on right now. This is our history. Fuck you.
Yeah, and this is a crazy, and I've come to realize that politics. You think politics, the average person thinks that. Like I said earlier, that's boring. I don't want to get into it. But it's in everything, and it does directly affect us, especially now more than ever.
No, yeah, it's literally why our milk costs $5 million. And why you could go back in 1980 fucking whoever knows and with a nickel and come out with eggs and milk and bread.
Yeah. Seriously.
And then but now it's $20 for one thing. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
God damn.
What was I thinking? Oh
wait, what did you want to talk about? I already know what I'm gonna talk about.
I think there was something else, but also the article I sent you about that parallel universe.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
Exactly. So what do you have to say about it? I actually did some research and I was like,
Well, yeah, I heard some people say no, scientists didn't discover a parallel universe. What they actually discovered was, and then they just say what they discovered, and I'm like, what it was they discovered in Antarctica.
Exactly, that's exactly what I found. Yeah,
some particles that were so normally there's these things called neutrinos, I think.
Yeah, something
which
whatever the fuck those
basically are coming from space and they run through the planet and they go through everything because they're so tiny or whatever. And basically what they discovered was and what those are is scientists use those to find out the source of where those particles came from whenever they hit an atom, they explode, and they can trace the pieces after it explodes
using trigonometry
back to where it originally came from. But basically I'm pretty sure what they found was pieces that were exploded and then came back together and went out of the planet back into space. It was the reverse of what normally happens.
Oh.
And that made them go, possibly, maybe, there's a parallel universe directly next to ours where time and physics run in reverse. And we're picking up traces of that using whatever machine it was, the Anita or whatever. That was
the Anita. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that kind of feeds into my whole universe theory of infinite parallel universes, and there's some that are right next to us where there's only a few changes, and there's some we've already lived through. That's why we have deja vu, because it's an event that was identical to what happened in the previous universe, and when we die we end up in another universe, and it just keeps ending and recycling and until things get crazy, and then we go to the great beyond, the DMT realm, and then that's
until we go into the great epic.
Mm-hmm. And that's where ideas come from. They're traces
maximum
from other
epicness will be acquired.
Yeah, it's just wild all around.
I don't know. Shit's fucking crazy though.
Oh, speaking of that, just as a side note, one of the more recent Adventure Time episodes I watched was reminded me straight up of what we've heard about salvia, how you disappear for 2 years and you feel you live out a whole life and then you come back.
It's the pillow one.
It's the pillow one. I was and I already know that the creator of the show is big into that. Because did you watch any more Midnight Gospel?
I watched the whole season one day.
I've only watched the first 3 episodes.
You're a monkey.
I've been taking it slow, but yeah, great show though. But yeah, I know he's super into that kind of stuff, and he's mentioned DMT and Adventure Time, and so I was oh, he totally knows what this is, and this is probably Finn disappearing for years, and then after falling into Wonderland basically, and then coming out, and it's been 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
It was damn, that was a good episode.
Yeah, and the one that actually mentions DMT is when he wears those super smart goggles.
Yeah, and he sees the 4D shape which I remember that episode after all that time. It was like every time I pictured what a 4D shape looked like, that image of in that episode, what it looked like,
constantly moving like that. The white lines on the purple, whatever the fuck. That's fucking crazy.
Damn.
It's fucking crazy. What else? Oh, Anonymous.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that. So that's
they disappeared. What's the one thing they did before this?
Apparently 2014 they exposed something about the KKK.
Good, I guess.
Yeah, it was like cool, but straight up like that's some Mr. Robot shit. That's F Society. They got the same kind of mask. It's like it's crazy. They're this hacker group that it supposedly goes. Now I don't know how.
Maybe there's one, maybe 10, maybe millions. Who the fuck knows?
I don't know. And you saw the video. It's like this is a movie. It's like it's a kind of thing you would see in a show or a movie. It's we are Legion, and you should be expecting us or whatever.
You should be expecting.
Goddamn,
us. Be prepared.
It's pretty dope, but at the same time,
it's scary because it's actually happening.
I just hope that if they expose real shit that affects something, like they actually like make a ripple, and it's like stuff we can prove, like
isn't it?
And stuff we don't know.
They just exposed, unless it was fake. They just exposed that Trump supported the Jeffrey Epstein thing.
I think that was old news, actually. I looked at because I was watching Haas Piker's live stream where he just talks about the riots in the news all day, and he was like, "Yeah, that's old news. That was like we knew about this like a year ago. That was all in his black book or whatever, but maybe not." But
God,
but yeah,
I'm
hoping it's something like that or something just wild that that's provable, and just really like causes ripples.
Maximum. This is happening.
Oh man,
there's too much shit going on.
In the midst of all of it, we look to one of two heroes.
PewDiePie?
One of two golden knights. It's either one of the two golden knights who's going to swoop in and save us all.
PewDiePie and I don't know.
H3 and Keemstar.
Oh, fuck Keemstar. Fuck that guy. He's such an asshole.
Donald Trump and Joe Biden, baby.
Keemstar's such a fucking asshole.
And I don't want to talk about it too much, but after many weeks of being angry about Joe Biden and shitting on him, that's the word.
Just shitting in his old mouth.
As much as I hate him, I've realized that at the end of the day, Biden presidency will cause less damage than another Trump term. So. Yeah. And so I'll be riding for Biden, baby. I'm gonna get me a Biden hoodie, gonna get me a no malarkey beanie.
No malarkey.
And I'm gonna ride for Biden. But yeah, that's that. Whatever, bro.
Okay. I said this before. If you vote for Trump, after all that shit he said, there's something. You must be a white supremacist.
You have, or just ignorant.
You just ignorant. Yeah, you just might not know that he said that stuff.
Yeah,
which is fine. Just get educated.
Yeah.
Or I don't have a Twitter, but I know this shit.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter all the time now. It's just nothing but riot videos and just shit on that. I have like 15,000 likes now. It's just. Oh yeah, and everybody I follow who normally isn't political is talking about it.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, exactly. This is like the craziest thing ever. Like you have to at least bring it up.
You can't ignore it.
You can't ignore it, or else you just look bad.
It's just something you have to address. It's not like some clickbait shit,
It's not like you could get away with like ignoring maybe the Iranian situation at the beginning of the year or things that have happened in the past that were crazy. You don't have to.
But this is actually happening in the U.S. So like, wow, that sounded really stupid. I'm not, but if you're in the U.S. and you can't just walk this off, it's happening like right next door.
No. And on top of all that, global pandemic.
Exactly.
It's like if I saw a thing earlier. It was like if the Great Depression, the Spanish flu, and like the civil rights movement were all happening at the same time. From like 100 years ago, if they were all happening now, and yeah, that's what it is. And who knows what's next?
See, I just looked up the Four Horsemen right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got plague.
Mm-hmm. We
got war.
Mm-hmm.
We just need famine, which is definitely coming because of the plague.
Yeah.
And then death. Yeah, no, we're fucked.
Shit, yeah.
Famines. Have you heard of like the shortage of food actually because of Corona?
I think something about it, yeah, but not much.
Yeah, so that's definitely it's building. It's coming.
It's building. Oh god.
Oh god.
Big F in the chat.
I don't know. You know, like, as a kid, we fantasize, like, oh, if it's an apocalypse, I'm gonna do this and this and this.
I would so prefer just a straight up zombie apocalypse compared to all of the shit that's potentially about to go down.
Yes.
Because it would be so much easier. It'd be like, okay, you kill the dead ones, and you hide, and you look out for yourself. You don't have to worry about the global things that are happening. You just worry about yourself or about your friends. And you stock up on food. It's like it's so much like more black and white and easy. And obviously you run into people that you can't trust and down the road and the craziness at the beginning. But you're right at the beginning, the first like month or two, and then it just all dies down, and then you're
just vibing,
yeah.
You're just vibing. But
this is like it's gonna be a long time. There's so many different angles to it. There's so many, and also with the zombie apocalypse, I feel like everybody would be on board with. Okay, we need to do this.
There's a greater evil to unite
us. Politicians will be like, okay, we need to lock down here. We need they would all be in agreement, but
this is
because it's like a non-human. It's just like a disease.
No, it was just zombies. It's just zombies or aliens.
These zombies, they're terrifying. They're terrible. We've never seen anything like it. Folks.
never.
But don't worry.
I do a lot of zombie research.
I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of zombie media. I just played The Last of Us 2 recently.
Just finished The Walking Dead.
Just finished it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, all right. Anything else we should talk about, or?
I mean, literally, just wait a week and we'll probably have something.
It's
fucking anything could happen at this point.
Anything.
Like it's not even like wonder what's like anything.
And here comes June. Here comes June. I wonder what June has in store.
June is supposed to be filled with like a whole bunch of happiness.
Yeah.
Because it's the end of the school year, summer.
Yeah, it's gonna be warm. Apparently, if the theory that warm weather hurts the pandemic is true, then maybe that'll be good. But that means it'll just be.
I don't think that's true at all.
Yeah, who knows?
Because Philippines is being fucked, and Philippines is hot as shit.
Yeah.
So who knows? Well, who knows?
Good stuff.
Until next time. Until the next major event happens.
Yeah, for real.
Oh my god.